On Wednesday, the House Judiciary Committee said that it had obtained evidence that the IRS opened a case on journalist and Twitter Files reporter Matt Taibbi's 2018 tax return. They opened it on Christmas Eve of last year, which also happened to be, as I noted in the opening, a Saturday. This was also 3 weeks after Taibbi published documents about government officials pressuring Twitter before Musk bought it to censor content. As I'm sure you remember, the Twitter files are files that were released by new Twitter owner Musk. And the files show a secret collaboration between the FBI and social media executives, some of whom had previously worked at the FBI. So why does this matter? Well, on March 9th, Taibbi testified before the newly formed Select Subcommittee investigating the weaponization of the federal government. Taibbi testified before the committee about his reporting of the Twitter files. On the same day that Taibbi was appearing as a witness before that committee, the IRS sent an agent to Taibbi's home in New Jersey. The IRS agent left a letter instructing Taibbi to call the IRS 4 days later. According to the IRS, Taibbi's electronic tax returns in both 2018 and 2021 were rejected due to concerns over identity theft and not for any failure to pay. Taibbi says the IRS accepted his 2018 filing, which was 5 years ago, and never notified him of an issue. Twice, the IRS rejected his 2021 electronic filing, even after Taibbi's accountant provided the IRS with information. In both cases, the IRS notified Taibbi that the issues were not monetary, meaning that he didn't owe taxes. In fact, the IRS apparently owed Taibbi a considerable tax refund. Now, according to the House Judiciary Committee Chairman and Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan, the IRS claimed that they were investigating Taibbi to ensure that he was not the victim of identity fraud. Journalist Matt Taibbi joins me. Good evening, sir.
I can't hear.
Now, Matt, as I understand it, the IRS says that they were investigating you to help you because they thought that someone stole your identity. Is that right?
Basically, they say they rejected two of my returns, one from 2018 and one from 2021. But the 2018 issue I never heard about, and they, even by their own admission, they didn't contact me for over 3 years about it until Christmas Eve on a Saturday last year. So the optics of it are pretty weird.
So why were they so whooped up about your tax return if you didn't owe money and they owed you money?
Greta, I have no idea. Honestly, the first time I heard about this whole thing, when I came back from testifying on the Hill on March 9th, I found out that an agent had come to my home. I thought, there's no way this is related. That's too silly. But I told the committee because I thought they had a right to know. And now that we have some answers about it, it definitely seems suspicious. I don't know what to think. I can't see an innocent explanation for it.
All right. How long have you lived at that home?
About 3 years, 4 years.
And in that 3 years or 4 years' time, did you ever receive like a registered letter from, before you got the home visit from the IRS agent, had you ever received a registered letter or a certified letter from the IRS or any kind of letter from the IRS?
I have, actually, yes. And I got letters about the 2021 issue. I got at least one letter about that I know of. And that I thought was probably a real issue. It was the 2018 issue that really freaked me out because they say that they sent me letters and then didn't contact me for over 3 years about this, and then suddenly opened a case about 2018 on Christmas Eve. That chronology makes no sense to me. They say the reason for that is because the pandemic was going on and they couldn't send field agents out. But I'm pretty sure the pandemic doesn't stop you from sending letters. So I don't really understand.
I'll tell you, Matt, the thing that strikes me as the oddest of all, besides the coincidental nature of it, is maybe it happens, but the idea that the IRS is working on Christmas Eve and that it's a Saturday, and that's, that to me, that strikes me as, and they opened the investigation. Was that for the 2018 one on Saturday, Christmas Eve, or was that for the 2021? Yeah,
my understanding is that it was the 2018 issue that they opened on the 24th. And again, when I first heard about this, I immediately remembered what was going on. That was a very big day in my life. It was probably the most consequential Twitter file story. I thought it was the one that I certainly worried about the most. It had reporting in it about connections between the FBI, the ODNI, the DHS, the CIA even. So I was nervous about publishing that story, and I remember that day very well because I was checking and rechecking that story before I sent it. So the date is it's very odd, the optics of it.
Do you prepare your own returns, or do you hire somebody to do that?
No, I hire a pretty big and reputable firm in New York to do it. I've been using the same accountant for a long time. The idea that there'd be an issue with suspected identity theft is also a little bit strange. I don't really understand that either. I did, when I found out about this, immediately resolve the issue, although the first time I tried, they rejected my return even with an IRS approved PIN number. So I don't know what's going on here. I mean, maybe that's something that happens, but certainly it's the two dates that really stand out. It's the opening of the case and then the fact that they showed up at my door while I was testifying on the Hill.
And the irony of that, I mean, besides, I'm still hung up on the Saturday and the Christmas Eve business. They opened an investigation that day, but they owed you money. I mean, they're chasing you down, they're hunting you down, going to your house, opening an investigation on Christmas because the IRS in their largesse is worried that you're not getting some money back.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine that some supervisor woke up on Christmas Eve morning and suddenly thought, we have to rectify the injustice of us owing this independent reporter a bunch of money. Let's open a case today or this afternoon. Let's get somebody out of their holiday to open a case today. I just have a hard time understanding that timeline. But look, it sounds funny, but really it's a little bit unnerving. It's more than a little, because I think other reporters going forward are going to see this and they're going to say, why would I even bother trying to do this kind of work?
Well, not only that, I mean, you're lucky you sort of have members of Congress who've been following your story, so you have a little bit of muscle backup on with you. But anyway, well, if there are any updates, Matt, please come back. Matt Taibbi, thank you.
Thanks so much, Greta.